Good morning, everyone. Hello. We're here in our stripes today.
I know. Unplanned.
Unplanned striping
Completely
for the
unplanned.
live today, but I love it. We both walked in and looked at each other and we were like, is this even the same sweater?
Yeah, we did for a hot sec, but she has no buttons. I have them.
Yes.
That's
Good
funny.
morning. Welcome to the live today. You are in for a treat with Susan, and I decided to pop in just because I like to chat with everyone.
I love it when she comes in.
Debbie's here this morning. Michelle, give us a comment as you're hopping on. And we were kind of chatting about what we had to tell you guys about. Some weeks it's like I talk forever,
Bazillion
I
things.
feel like.
Yeah.
And this was one of those weeks that
Really.
it's a little more calm, it feels like. But we are still enjoying beautiful weather around here. I feel like I just
Today
can't
is a
stop
little
talking
cooler.
about it. It is a little
little
cooler,
cooler.
but the sun was still shining.
Yeah.
So hooray for
Did
that.
you hear about the S word for tonight, though?
No.
Oh, sorry. It's
I have
beautiful
another
here.
S word then for that.
It's beautiful here.
Okay.
I tell you nothing.
It has gotten a little bit like, you know, how when I lived in California, we didn't really think about the weather because it was just
No.
always pretty
Beautiful.
steady.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten kind
Yeah.
of lulled into that habit. Like I didn't even wear a coat today. I just put this vest on and walked out
I
the
use
door.
my vest as a coat all the time.
And now
So,
you
yeah.
talk about snow. And I'm like,
mhm.
oh, shoot. I thought we were done with that.
Like an inch to two tonight.
Okay.
Sorry to tell you.
Well, I can deal with an inch or
Okay.
two.
It'll be okay. Just fine.
We did have a release on Tuesday. So if you joined me for the Tuesday live, then you got a look at our second chance release because we believe in second chances here
Yes,
at
I
TE.
love second chances. Yes.
So there's an opportunity to grab any of the 100 plus freebies that you may not have earned during the month that they were offered. And then we did some extras this time.
Yes, I love the
That's
extras.
always part of our favorite thing to do up
Mhm.
here in product development is to sit down with past freebies and think, what could make this freebie more useful? Or
like fern dice that are my favorite thing.
yes, I
love them.
did. I used those on Tuesday.
I know you did.
I
Beautifully.
did love them.
Beautifully.
They are going to be something that I can see using a lot. So,
Yes.
and you've got another one
Yep.
today for
More
everyone.
second chances.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought of one quick little announcement.
Yes.
For those that are joining our Stamp Joy virtual event, how many of you, raise your hand if you are part of that. Yes, you better be
You
part
did.
of it. We're both going to be here, promise.
Promise. We better be. That's
But
funny.
the announcement for Virtual Stamp Joy participants is that all of the event material packages have been shipped. So,
Yay!
yay!
Shipping department.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
I love it when we're even earlier than we thought. So we actually had
awesome.
said we would begin shipping on the 13th of February, I
Oh,
believe,
seriously?
and now
We're done.
it's the 15th and we're done.
So that means you were
So-
done yesterday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So hooray! I know many of you have gotten your packages. It's been fun to see what you think, but as always, no spoilers for those who like to be on
Be
Team
good.
Wait.
Be Team Wait.
I
It's
know.
my favorite.
I have a special
It's my
place in my
favorite.
heart for Team Waiters.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm there.
Because I feel like then we get to share in the surprise together.
Yes.
So yes, we will be doing a live unboxing for the virtual event. So if you are Team Wait, then no spoilers from Team Peak until February 23 is the unboxing.
Don't call them a team. No.
We don't want to
Team
make
Wait.
teams out of this.
Yes.
Just everybody
Team
wait. Yeah.
Yes.
I know there are lots of people that have peaked, and it's been fun to see your comments on what
Reactions.
you
Yeah.
received too. So, yes, we're getting very excited around here. We've got a couple Team Waits here.
Team Wait. There's just a sorry, so I'm like, that must mean I peaked.
Maybe. Mary
That's funny.
says Team Wait. Debbie, Team No Peak. That's a good way of
Yeah, I
putting
like-
it.
Yes. Adorable.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you guys with Susan, and you're going to craft it up.
Yep.
I'm excited for them to see what you've got here
Yes.
in front of you. It's
Yes.
really pretty.
Thank
I like
you.
it.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
All right. I will move your camera for you.
Thank you. That would be
Yes?
wonderful.
Okay.
I love it when you do that so I don't hit a wrong button. It's my favorite thing.
Bye, everybody.
Good morning. So this is what we're going to talk about today. I told Whitney, okay, I got to tell you all, she had to put her shoes back on. I love it. I am so short. It's just, and I love my sneaks, so that makes me even shorter. So yes, I loved these backgrounds. I long ago this Daisies for Days came out, and I'm obsessed with it. I really have had fun, and this is kind of one of my go-to. I brought it in and showed it to Taylor one day, and she's like, that's really pretty. I've never shown it on a live, so I just mainly I'm not going to create this one, but I brought it in because it's one that I've made for friends and sent out. But it's got an oyster background, which you might not think, and so does this one. And we're going to make a version of this one today. But I kind of have had fun with that, and I love these solid backgrounds that we've started coming out with where the actual image is unstamped or your negative is white if you're using Sugar Cube. So I'm just going to talk a little bit through that, and I do have a fun little thing that while I was playing with this one that came from our Second Chance release, Signature Cocktails. With that one, I kind of came across a fun little thing with our happy mediums, the gold glitter and the silver, and I'm going to talk about those too. So yeah, let me go over what I did with this one. I don't have a inspiration card for this one, but the background, of course, is oyster. Like I said, that was what I used on both of them. It's one of our newer inks, and on Sugar Cube, when you first stamp it, it's kind of dark, but once it dries back, it's so pretty. So if you want to decide on colors and stuff, I would definitely wait and let it dry back and then make your decision. Oh, I love it. Sally says she's 5'9". I'm with you. I think I'm like 5'3" or 4, depending. So yeah, I'm Taylor, and she loves her heels. I love my heels too, but my feet don't love them by the end of the day. So, but back to the card, I use the oyster in the background, and then this is that banana cream pie. It's one of those that we cannot get the cardstock on anymore, but it is an ink that I just love because it is my favorite yellow. And like with this card, I didn't need the cardstock at all as long as I have the ink. It happens to be my favorite yellow outside of pineapple, but sometimes pineapple has too much orange in it. If I'm just looking for a yellow, especially for centers of flowers, I use that one. So, and then my Hello, which is also from the Second Chance release, that die that we came out with, the stamp was a freebie quite a while ago, but I cut that die out of this background. So I had stamped the Hello first, and I used black sparkle embossing full powder, and then I cut it out of that background. So, and then popped it up. So just kind of a fun little thing. I think we used to call them eclipse cards, kind of. I don't know if it's exactly an eclipse, but that's kind of what it reminds me of, where you stamp the background, I stamp the sentiment on it, and then I die cut it out. So this is one that I happen to have sent in the past just because I really like that oyster in the background. So, and again, that's Daisies for Days. Old stamp, but the Hello die was released on Tuesday this week. The Hello, It's Me. So I just love these big words. I think they allot for a lot of different thoughts and angles to take your cards and different ways to work with them. I just like the big focal point on your card. I really like that. So let's see, double checking. I'm not missing anyone. Yeah, oyster, someone just said they don't have the oyster. It is a newer color, and it probably got passed over in that release. I can't remember exactly when it was released, but you know, it's a gray, so you might not notice it, but it is it's cool, but I feel like it's very neutral. It can go with a lot of things, and I use it quite a bit. But again, I would really remind you, if you stamp it, let it dry back, because it looks a lot darker, which you'll see. So this card is what we're going to recreate, but I am going to have us do it in these colors instead. That's what we're going to work with today. But this one that I did, again, like I said, it's the oyster background, and then I ink blended pink champagne and guava for the little cups, the little drink cups, and then the ice cubes that are in there are a very, very light hand of mulled wine. And I'm saying very because if you go in with a normal hand, you're going to notice it's really dark, but I really tapped off. I just wanted that color variation. And then I went over the top with gold, happy medium. So I just thought it was really fun. Our happy mediums that have the glitter happy mediums, they are also very see-through. So you have your glitter, but you can see through to what's on the bottom. So if ever you want to use them, you have to make sure you use a color underneath first. Otherwise you're going to get, and it would be fine, but you're just going to get a very light image of the glitter. Unless you get it on there really thick, which I'm not very good at that either. But so the good part is normally like I'll use the purple, which I think is our jelly donut, and I would ink blend either lavender glaze underneath or something underneath to give it that boost of color along with the glitter. So with this, I thought it just kind of tested how it would look over top of a color. So, and I thought I got some fun, different results. So I'm going to show you another one that I did. This is not a finished card. So this one, I put the gold glitter medium over the guava, so the darker color, instead of putting it over the pink champagne like I did on my finished card. Sorry, let me get more in the screen there for you. So I like this one. I'm going to finish it, but I preferred it over the pink champagne that's in this card. So I just wanted to show you, you can get a lot of different results. So, and I'm going to show you how silver looks over teal tones, but I chose to do the gold with this one. So let me walk you through what I did. All right. Again, this Signature Cocktails, when this came through one of our brainstorms, I just loved it. I thought it was so cute, so fun. Anything from a new job, which I need to send one of those cards, to the one I'm going to make today is going to be for my father-in-law because he just sold his business. So they're just going through the end phases of getting out and retiring. So that, or this one that I plan to send to my niece. She's getting married soon. I also need to do one that says congratulations and then an engagement one because I need to send one of those too. But all the different things that you might toast someone or cheers or even New Year's if that comes around. So I'm going to grab our Signature Cocktails. It sounds funny. It sounds like I'm grabbing a cocktail, right? I do like to put it in the middle of my Misty. And TE sells 6x6 sugar cube cardstock packs that are already cut for you. And I do really, really love those because 6x6 out of an 8.5 by 11, you really end up, what you cut away doesn't make a card base. It usually ends up being scrap. So I do really like buying the 6x6 sugar cube for my backgrounds that are 6x6. I just feel like I'm ending up with less scrap in my bin. So I do like to put down a little bit of our removable. This is my favorite. I think what I really love about it is that when I'm all done, or if it's on the back of my cardstock, all I have to do is take my finger and rub it a little bit and it comes right up. So we'll put that down there. And we will ink up with our oyster. Now, oyster too, if you go dark with it and you stamp it twice, it is going to be a little bit darker. So I tried to just get a really good coverage of my ink the first time. If I don't, I'll do it again. But just to tell you, if you do it twice, you're going to get a little bit darker, obviously, because it's a double stamping of the oyster. I kind of like if I can get a perfect first generation. That's kind of my favorite. And that coming from me, who's always double stamping everything. So, all right, just trying to make sure I don't have too many lines or too many areas that look. All right, now I'm going to stamp this and grab my Don't Stress Just Press tool. With big background stamps, I know I've mentioned this in the past, but I feel like it's totally worth mentioning, especially like with the big hello, the happy, all of those big. We did a wish for Stamp Joy Virtual. All of those things, make extra sure you don't see any bubbles. So you can see how this is. There's kind of a little bit of spots where it's knotted here, but you don't want to see any big bubbles. Can you see that in the light? You don't want to see big bubbles behind where it's adhering to your Misty door. That will make it so that, you're going to have an uneven stamping. Now, when I stamped this, I can see right here and right here I have light, but look how it's still on my stamp. My ink is over there on the stamp still. So I'm going to go ahead and close my door, kind of pay attention to where that's at. and press that again. Because if I go in with Oyster again, and I can tell I have a little itty bitty like fleck of something. It could be cardstock or something like that. I'm not going to be able to get away with that. Yeah, I can feel it. It's just, who knows what it is from the craft room, but that is more whatever. I think it feels like a little bit of maybe adhesive or something. That I can't fix, but I can always just use a different portion of that. But if you have ink over here that's not over on your cardstock yet, and you go and ink it up twice a second time, all you're going to do is make areas darker, and that spot's still going to be very light. So you can usually see on your stamp if there's ink still hanging out there. So let me double check. I feel like right in here, I still see that there might be some ink right in through here. So I'm going to press right through there, because that ink's not going to dry on there. Not anytime quickly, at least. So yeah, but again, I can't fix that one. Like if you ever have like a hair or a little piece of paper or something, you can't undo that. But this should dry back pretty well. So I'm going to show you this one compared to, I have one over here that's dry. Isn't that crazy? So be patient, let it dry back. You can stamp it twice, which maybe I should just to show you. And we'll let it dry back, because I have this one that we can use for ink blending if we so desire. But I'm going to show you how much darker it is. Again, I want to make sure my coverage is even, and I don't have, like up in here, I had a lot of ink because I pressed really hard. You want to make sure you're even with your coverage. You don't want to see little droplets or corners of your stamp. I feel like, especially with this background, it makes a difference that you've done a good job with your coverage and adding the ink to the back of your stamp. Oh, I love, you guys are still telling me where you're at and that it's sunny. I love it. So can you see how much darker that is? It will dry back some, but I'll bring it back in. But it should still dry back nice. The other thing to remember is if you're going to do a double stamp, this is a newer ink pad, just make sure you also make extra sure that you kind of let that first layer dry a little bit before you come back in again. That will help you a lot. So I'm just double checking, because my eye sees where there's just a little bit of ink here and there, but it's fine. So we'll set this to dry. All right, get that out of the way. So I don't know. I kind of want to let this one dry just so we can compare it. I might go to this one. I had just the other day I had my stamp in my MISTI, and so I just did up a few panels just because I was like, well, it's already in my MISTI. I might as well do a few, and then I'll store them in my stamp packaging or something, or I still plan to finish them. Now, I could have done the whole background like I did here and just ink blend the whole background. I'm going to go ahead and do this one just because I really want to show you when we're done the comparison of these two. So I just don't want ink on there. It'll just be more clear for us to see it. So we'll grab our ink stand, which of course is one of my favorite things. Now these are labeled 1, 2, 3. So you put 1 and then 2, and then your ice cubes are third. I'm going to get them all in order. 1, 2, 3, and make sure, I always like to make sure, I'm a bottom right hand corner. I know we all have our ways, but for me, when I'm using the glass mat, I always just kind of go towards the bottom right corner. That way I know I'm always orienting everything. Now, I'm going to go outside the rules with this one. So this is 1, but this is my lighter color, my confetti cake that I want to put glitter over. So I don't want to have to pick up my stencil and put it back down. So I'm actually going to go 2, 3, 1. So I'm going to put that one on the bottom, and we're going to start with 2. And I got to see, I might not get my cardstock going in the right direction first. So I've got a little bit of that adhesive on the back of my cardstock, so it'll hold it down to my glass board, which I love. Let's see if I can get these lined up. And there's no real etching guides or anything with this one, but it's just so super simple. You're just looking at the edges of the cups to line them up. So get that going, and then I will tape that down. So I'm going to follow the 6x6 guides. It'll just help me. And then I have a little bit of teal tape. And like I said, I put a little temporary tape on the back of that paper so that won't move. All right. And then ink blend, our tropical punch, because I want to go in with the second, the darker color. So my colors with this one were, I think I showed you this maybe. So the confetti cake will be layer 1. Tropical punch is layer 2, and sour gummy will be my rocks or the ice in my glass. And sorry, my husband likes it on the, when he has a cocktail, it's on the rocks. So I always think rocks or ice cubes. The ice cubes will be my last one. Come back to that. So I'm going to start with our tropical punch. Even if you don't drink cocktails, I still think it's kind of it looks just celebratory and kind of fun. So. Or beachy, gosh, if you had someone that was headed off to the beach or coming home from the beach, this would be a cute card to send them to. I don't want to ink blend my true color swatch, so I moved it out of the way. Let's see. All right. Just a little ink blending on that one, and I'm going to be lazy and just set it aside and not clean that. I love tropical punch. It's I feel like I don't have to work as hard as it being it's such a dark color. So we'll get this moved out of the way. Done with our tropical punch. I'm going to bring in our sour gummy to do our ice. And again, my etching is down here in the bottom right corner to say that this is stencil 2. So I'm going to make sure the next one goes right there, and we will line up our ice cubes. So again, I am following the glass board 6x6 alignment, but I will also kind of move it and align it with my eyes also, not just trusting that I had it perfect. All right, now we'll come in with sour gummy, and I just have one of our smaller blending brushes to work with. Whatever you would like. This one is all over pattern, so it goes in all of the glasses. Double checking to see. I hope you all had a nice Valentine's Day. Did you do anything to celebrate? My husband and I, we've been married for quite a while. I won't say how long time. And we've learned early on that going out on Valentine's Day is just busy and kind of hectic, so we just stayed home and had Brussels and potatoes, and he made steak. I'm not big on that, but it was very yummy. Stayed home and enjoyed an evening at home. So did you guys do anything? I did get a surprise Valentine. A friend stopped by my office, the office here at TE yesterday, and dropped off a Valentine for me. It was so unexpected and sweet. I loved it. She works with resin stuff, so she dropped me off some resin earrings. It was fun. I cannot wait to wear them. So did you have a surprise? Did you get something you were unexpected? Did you go out? I guess let me know, because I always wonder, are we the only ones that don't really celebrate it and everyone else does? I sent my girls little Valentines to college. They did call me to thank me yesterday for them. That was kind of fun to hear from them. They were excited. Even though she's in college, one of my girls loves dinosaurs, so I got her some dinosaur socks. So let's see. Quiet evening at home. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Brussels. I love them. Some people hate them, but we eat them quite a bit because you get a big bag from Sam's Club. Oh, had dinner at home. Flowers and a card. That's awesome. I'm going to wait another few days. I kind of told my husband not to get me flowers because it's usually pretty expensive at Valentine's, and I just go get them off the clearance rack in a couple of days. So, oh, Tina got unexpected flowers. That's awesome. Totally did not expect that. Andy was out of town, so that means he thought ahead. That's quite impressive. All right. Well, I'm glad. I see some that stayed home. Same here, stayed home. I love it. I'm not the only one. if we'd gone out to eat at the one place I would have gone is I kind of like sushi. So that would have been my one. And you can always just go eat up at the bar too. If you don't want to be all fancy at a table, stayed home. And someone said, oh, Tubby took her car and got it fully cleaned. Best Valentine's Day gift ever, Debbie. I love it. That would be an amazing gift. I would agree with that one. That is awesome. That's awesome. I love that because, I mean, it's not anything like that's Hallmark, you know what I mean, or store-bought. I love that he took the time to go take care of your car. I love that. That's sweet. So now I'm going in with this stencil 1, which normally that's the way I do. I am kind of one that does follow the TE etchings because I figure there's a reason, which I know there is from working up here in the production area, that we do put stencils in order for a reason. It's usually has a lot to do with lining things up and making it easier that way, or it could be because of color tones so that you can get your lighter colors down and your darker on the top, whichever way it might be. So again, this was confetti cake. Let me see, did anyone else have some really good things? Oh, she got her husband a Chiefs t-shirt, Champs. That's awesome. Oh no, her husband got it, He Knows You Well. Yes, I love that. I am a big football fan, so I love the Chiefs t-shirt for Valentine's Day. That's awesome. He was thinking. Okay, this is where I don't want to take this off. I almost did it, but it's pretty easy to line these back up. Oh my, someone had at a crab seafood place. That sounds yummy too. And it's new. I'm surprised you got in for Valentine's Day. That's wonderful. Yummy, yummy. So the one that I thought the silver and the teal tones would go really well together. So being as I have it hinged, it'll be okay. I'm going to open this just so you can kind of see what it looks like now. It's really pretty, great all on its own, but I thought that teal and a little bit of the silver glitter happy medium would be good. And I have my usual suspects for my tools. I usually am a minimalist when it comes to tools, but when it's something I love, which is this Nuvo spatula knife and then the Stencil Pal, are two of my favorite things. I grab them right away. I used to use like old credit cards or something like that. That works, but really like this. Ours is getting low. It's obviously well loved here at TE, right? It's probably by me, right? But I really loved kind of having fun seeing what the gold and silver would look like over different colors. So after I tried it on the pink champagne, then of course I wanted to try it on guava. And then I was like, ooh, silver. And that was with gold. So this time I was like, ooh, let's see what silver would look like. And then right away my mind went teal. And like I said, my father-in-law's business is selling. So, and he's retiring. I thought this will be perfect for him. So I have that on there pretty evenly. You can, some people, like there was probably some ink up on top of my stencil that can contaminate your glitter paste. So it is up to you whether you want to put it back in the jar. I don't really see much of anything. We'll see if I see it on here. I might ditch it. But you could take it off, clean your stencil if you want to be able to keep that. And I pressed really hard, so I'm going to do this again. I can see that I almost pressed with the Stencil Pal a little too hard, and I scraped up a lot of my glitter paste. So let me just try, or my glitter medium here. Let me just try one more time and not be so heavy-handed with that. There we go. I can already tell that's better. So I do see a little blue. You can either keep this, toss it. It's completely up to you. This bottle is almost gone. I don't think that little bit of blue is really going to be noticeable, so I'm going to put it back in. Then I do like to clean up my supplies right away, or my tools, and I will wipe off my spatula, and I will wipe this up because I think they're pretty easy to wipe up with a baby wipe. But I will say this is going in a bucket that I have down on the floor with water in it. So if you want to throw your tools in there too, you can, or go to your sink. Obviously at my house and here at the studio we don't have a sink in the room, so I just usually this morning, grabbed my bucket. I have it down here. Throw my stencil in it. Here, I'll even show you. I just throw it in there and then I'll wash it when I'm all done. Get that out of the way. Clean this up. We'll move this just so that I can make sure I get my glass board cleaned up too. All right, so this is what it looks like dry or wet, and this is what it looks like dry. So I did one a couple of days ago, it should maybe only take like an hour to dry, but I thought I'm just gonna go ahead and do one ahead of time. One, because I was curious what silver looked like, and two, I just didn't want us to have to wait for it to dry. So I'm gonna set this one aside, let that dry. Like I said, maybe, I don't know, maybe depending on how dry or humid your area is, it should be dry in 30 minutes to an hour to at least, I might not throw it in an envelope for another hour or so, just to make sure it's really, really dry, but yeah. And then I get rid of all my temporary tape I used. Get that out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna double check. I can't remember, I know I cut this earlier. I do need to cut this down just a smidge, and I remembered everything except my tape, my trimmer. Let me grab that. Oh, please, thank you. Sorry, couldn't remember if I had trimmed these down before I made them or not. So now I can like pick an area, like if there's any part that I don't like as well, or I'm not getting as much glitter showing. I do want to cut this down because my card, I want to use this scalloped layer on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down to, I think this one is 3 3/4, I think. Grab my handy dandy ruler. Yep, I was right. So cut that down to 3 3/4 by 5. I cut off this end because I have more of that lighter color on that end. So just to bring in more of that tropical punch. You can save them, toss them. All right, and then ahead of time, just to save us time and so that you didn't have to watch me die cut a ton, I took the Petite Scallop rectangles that I love and I use all the time, as you guys well know, and I cut it out of sugar cube cardstock. So that's what that's going to be. And then I have one of our A2 card bases. Oh, I agree, Nina. Yeah, she's saying that if you take a piece of paper towel or something to wipe off that stencil before you put the glitter medium on there, that's absolutely a great idea. Our bottle's just getting so low, and I didn't see much color. If I had used like a hot pink or something on your excess ink. Oh, I see what you mean. Thank you. I will take this warning because I'm about ready to make a big mess, right? I was like, what's going on? She said this ink that I was tapping off over here, I just put my ruler in it, but we'll take a little bit of alcohol and wipe that clean and get rid of that. You just saved me, saved the day. Who said that? Lisa, thank you. Because imagine if I'd gotten close with this. Sometimes I forget. I'm usually pretty good, but I didn't clean up my stencils. Normally I'm a person that cleans up my stencils before I move on, just to get like the ink off. It's just easier because I do have a habit of sticking things in wet ink or wet paste or whatever. So normally I clean that up when I clean up my stencils, but to save time, I didn't do it. So thank you, Lisa. You just saved me. I would have been like, where's this ink coming from? All right, so this is our Petite Scallop. Again, it's in Sugar Cube. I'm gonna put it on one of our Sugar Cube A2 side fold card bases and use my favorite foam tape, the 1/32, happens to be my favorite. Oh, I just saw the tea that I'm gonna spill later. I guess Taylor and I didn't mention that. I do have tea to spill today, so if you stick with me till the end. I'm going to put this down. And as you guys have seen me do several times, I like to just reveal one of these so that I have time to make sure it's all straight and ready to go, I always make sure my card base is flat. Always make sure that way you know for sure whatever your card is folding in the right spot. But it also gives me a better, flatter surface to put my layers on. Put that down, press that in place. You almost joined Team Make a Mess, Candy. You are absolutely right. We need stencils with a whiskey glass now. Teresa, I like the way you think. That would be great for my husband and for Father's Day. Teresa, I'm going to hold on to that one. I need to make a mental note of that because that would be wonderful. The thing is, I know a lot of people don't, some people drink, some people don't. So cocktails aren't everyone's jam, but my husband likes a glass of whiskey. So that would be great. I love that idea. So there's our card base. This will go on there. And I'm going to use, I love my 1/32 just because I get to add dimension and not worry about having my card too thick to ship. So you could put it just in one spot and use your 1/8 or the 1/16, completely up to you. This happens to be my favorite way to do it, is to do the 1/32 and put it between my base layer and my card panel. Oh, I took 2 of them off. Now I got to be careful. Just makes it easier to pull it up if I'm not fighting all of them. Okay, there we go. Get these last 2, and then we will talk about our sentiment. I love the cheers and the hello that were just released this week on the Second Chance. But like I said, I felt like this really, cheers is not quite what I wanted for a wedding or for my father-in-law selling his business. I thought congratulations worked really well. So what I did, and hopefully you don't mind because I didn't want you to have to listen to the heat tool, I took just some scrap sugar cube cardstock. I powdered it first with a powder tool, got that done, and then I used VersaFine Clear and our clear embossing powder to emboss congratulations. And this is from our stamp set. I think it was, I don't know if it says on here. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years old. It came out, I think, with a wedding or baby, because I've always told Taylor I love to say congrats when I'm talking like for graduation or maybe a new job. But when it comes to wedding, I feel like congratulations is a little more formal, or an engagement. So I like it both ways. So when they had this script, I really liked having both of them. So that's our congratulations. I took the die that coordinates with this and I cut out 3 because it's pretty narrow, and it is scrap cardstock, so you see that it's dirty. But I took 3 sugar cube congratulations that I cut with the die, and I stacked them up ahead of time with a little liquid glue. So let's die cut this one. I was trying to keep you guys within our time today and not have to have you listen to the heat tool. So we'll put a little tape. We're going to die cut that, so that's ready to go. Another thing I did ahead of time, and I did 2 of them. So the card that's the wedding card to the Mr. and Mrs. is from the Mini Strips wedding, and I did the same thing. I used the VersaFine and Clear to emboss that for wedding. But for my father-in-law, for the business, I thought this one would be better. It is our, where did I put it? Sorry. This isn't our original Simple Strips background. So before everything got named, we had Simple Strips background. And in there is celebrating with you today. And I thought that would be awesome because my father-in-law's had this business for as long as I've met my husband. He was just starting it when we were getting married. So that celebrating with you today I thought was perfect. And I took that again, stamped it with the VersaFine Clear and embossed it with clear. And I'm gonna give it a double check because I'm feeling a little bit of powder. So I wanna make sure I didn't miss any spots when I did this beforehand. Nope, maybe it's just powder from the powder tool I'm feeling because everything looks good. We released these several months ago. So it's the Simple Strips die, but it has the blunt end to it, and that's my favorite. I loved the flags for a long time, but I think I just wanted something new and a little different, a little more fresh. And so one of the things that I asked Taylor for was the flat end flags. So I got that. I'm not exactly sure what the name of it is on the website. I apologize. I just know it's Simple Strips. It should be a Simple Strips die. Because the Simple Strips dies, there's the layer one and the flag one. So you shouldn't have too many things to find if you look it up on the website. So I'm going to get my head in here to make sure I've got this nice and straight. Got my alignment guides. Don't you just love those squares to make sure you know you're in the spot that you want to be? Line this up. All right. I wouldn't normally use teal tape to hold my dies down. I use it more for stenciling and stuff like that. But I don't need this paper. That will just be garbage. But let's send this through the die cut machine along with, get this out of the way too, along with that congrats die. Alrighty. And this does pop and crack when you use those dies. They're just so big. I swear it makes a lot of noise. Let's send this through. Trisha, she said straight edge. Is that what they're called? Simple Strips straight edge. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you all. And Marita, man, you guys are on it. I apologize. I didn't think to look at that one. Okay, you're going to get every one of those, right? Sorry. Get that out of the way and then throw this congratulations in here. Run that through. This one should be a lot quieter. Nice, right? All right, so we get the die cut machine out of the way. Okay, so again, like I said, yesterday actually, I took 3 times. I die cut the sugar cube cardstock from the congratulations, and I'm going to take this 4th one that I have stamped and embossed on, and we're going to glue those together. I prefer the Bearly Arts glue. It's only because I haven't had the Misty Just Pressed or the Misty glue bottle. Taylor uses it, and this is the one that's been mine here in the studio, and I just haven't, it's not empty yet. So whenever this bottle of glue that never ends, which I've been using on the live since I've been doing lives with you, it's just still, it's not empty. So I just keep using it. When it's gone, I will probably be reaching for Taylor's. So I'm going to lay that on top of there. You could use foam tape. I just had some white scrap cardstock laying, and I thought I'm just going to go ahead and use that, and I won't have to cut up so many itty bitty little pieces. Use my magnets to hold that while it dries. And I'm not going to pop all these out because I want to organize them in my organization. Thanks for being so sweet. I want the celebrating you today. I thought this would be really cute too, underneath that too, like congratulations, pop, fizz, clinks, cheer. I thought that could be really good for, like I said, I need a congratulations on your engagement card. So I think that could be really cute with the congratulations. You could even cut it off too, cut it off there with just the scissors and put it with the cheers. That would be really adorable too. So let that dry. Let's bring our card back in. This one that I did, the congratulations to the Mr. and Mrs. I have to admit, I probably used a little too many. I'm not going to be able to mail this card. Let me see if I can get it so you guys can see it. I did 6 layers on this one, but I know I will be bringing it to the wedding. It's not going through the mail. I think this might be over my 1/4 inch for mailing. I just kept adding and adding because I was like, oh, here's another piece of white sugar cube scrap. So anyway, what is this? Tammy says my husband called it kerchunking. Is that the sound that the Misty makes? Yep. It's kind of loud at times. Celebrating with you today. I thought that would be perfect on a retirement / selling your business and hopefully traveling the world, right? So I want this to kind of fit underneath all of these letters. So I kind of want to see where my congratulations should go. I might still just go ahead and center that up. So that'll go there. I'm going to adhere the congratulations with liquid glue again, because I feel like that I've got enough dimension with those 4 layers of sugar cube here. Yeah, and when we're talking about the chunking of your machine, man, if someone doesn't know what you're up to, it probably sounds pretty funny. Like, what are you breaking in there? And you're not breaking anything. So, and let me get my ruler, if I can find my ruler back in my mess that you guys helped me save from my ink. I like to use the lines that are in, I've probably told you guys this before, but I like to use the lines on the glass mat to make sure that I am straight across. Yeah, pretty good. So I just take my ruler. Because I can lay my ruler here, but if I take and put the base of my card with one of these lines on the glass mat, or if you're using the paper sheets that we sell with the grid on it, and then line up, I can take another spot where I line up both sides of the ruler across, pick a line, and then I can tell that I'm straight across. So set that there for a second, and I'm going to add a little liquid glue to the back of this sentiment. But again, that pop, fizz, clink, cheers would be really cute here too, right in here for engagement card. But I still have the other panel that's drying, so I can make another one. So I'm going to slide this underneath. I specifically did not put glue towards the bottom of the T, these two T's, because I knew I wanted to kind of slip this in kind of underneath, make that look like it's part of it. So again, I want my ruler again. I just want to make sure I'm straight. I always think if you do a more clean and simple card, you do need to pay attention to your details, because if things are not straight, it's usually pretty obvious. So there we go, straight across. And then my other favorite thing that Susan does not make too many cards without is my little bits and pieces black. Double checking. I just missed because I was trying to read comments. I obviously cannot multitask very well, right? So we will add some of our black. Love these. Love these, love these. Just to add a little something, and I also, one of my favorite things about them is they are very low profile for mailing. And don't take up too much like focal, you know, too much of your card. It doesn't have to take over your whole card. So we'll add those. And use my liquid glue. Let me fuss as I do to get them all in place. I laugh, Taylor. I think Taylor's quicker at it than I am, but I am slow with placing and figuring out where I want black. My black rhinestones, it's just, I can move them around, switch them a lot. And still end up moving them like I just did. So add just a little dot of that Bearly Arts glue or Nuvo, whatever you like to use. There we go. All right, so that one was my blue tones, again with silver. So I did the silver medium with the Sour Gummy Tropical Punch. That to hold that there. Again, I'm gonna save this one. I need to not put that one away. I will use that. I will save all of them from our easy strips, of course, or our simple strips. I will save them all. And there's the congrats, which was my original one. And then the hello was more just, I wanted to show you that oyster background to give you one other option. This is, in case you guys are taking notes, that was my silver to go with that one. See, can I get that out of the way? if you guys want to take screenshots, and then I will get our tea to spill. Okay, are you ready? So Taylor will be here Tuesday at, oh yeah, sorry, Jamie's saying that TE sells the cushions for your envelopes if you're mailing anything that's got the rhinestones or anything like that. They do sell those, so yeah. Thank you, Tammy. Okay, so I've got my tea to spill for next week. So I'm going to start by saying that next week, Taylor will be here at 10, and show you Easter products. Sorry, I was reading, Tracy said, now she needs that stamp set when she didn't think she needed. So are you ready for the tea? So I said, it's Easter on Tuesday. So come join Taylor at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. And Heather will be here on Thursday. Here, I'll give you one more pass. They're cute. Cute. And Taylor will be there, Heather will be there Thursday next week. So see you Tuesday at 10 a.m. for our Easter release. I hope you have a great week.